The teaching text for today comes from Mark 14, verses 53 through 54, and then jumping forward to 66 to 72. So Mark 14, this is about Peter denying Jesus, and we got an image right there that is just haunting. But this is what Mark writes. So they took Jesus to the high priest, and all the chief priests, the elders, and the teachers of the law came together. Peter followed him at a distance right into the courtyard of the high priest, and there he sat with the guards and warmed himself at the fire. Jumping forward. While Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came by. When she saw Peter warming himself, she looked closely at him. "You also were with that Nazarene Jesus," she said. But he denied it. "I don't know or understand what you're talking about," he said, and went out into the entryway. When the servant girl saw him there, she said again to those standing around, "This fellow is one of them." Again, he denied it. After a little while, those standing near Peter said to Peter, "Surely you are one of them, for you are Galilean." He began to call down curses, and he swore to them, "I don't know this man you're talking about." And immediately the rooster crowed the second time. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken to him, "Before the rooster crows twice, you will disown me 3 times." And he broke down and he wept. This is the word of the Lord. This week we were on vacation with Teddy and my wife, and it was a great time. We had a good time. One of the things that was odd, just a theme of the week, we kind of entered into conversations with Teddy describing like the dangers of different things, or like the reality of the world. He is just in his heart, just an innocent child. It's probably because I'm so innocent and raised him that way. But there's just things like no, that's not me, it's my wife. But there are things that like you want to let him know about. Like people can be cruel and then blame you, right, for like their own cruelty. Well, the only reason I was mean to you is because you did this. And it's like, bro, that's not on me, that's on you. But for him, like he'd be like, right, really, is that me? Am I the reason why they were so cruel? And so just trying to like explain like the dangers of online gaming, and like, hey, there are these things called predators, and they like to use this and say that they're kids while they're talking to other kids, but they're really not kids. They're like creepy old men or whatever. And he's in the back of the car, just like eyes like, what is happening? What are we talking about? And I don't know where, but he started to play this app on thing, and it needed like parental permission because it had a function where you could chat and stuff. And I was like, we're gonna not do that whatsoever because I don't want to ever have to deal with any of that. But we spent a lot of time talking about different things, and that opened one conversation to the next, and it was really good stuff. But just the dangers of the world that we live in, and the reality of different things that are broken in our world. And so I say all that to say that today I want to look at the dangers of sin, or just the reality of sin. And maybe that's why we ended up talking about it so much with Teddy, because I was thinking about this throughout the entire week. But I want to look at 2 dangers that we see in Peter's life, 2 dangers of sin that you see in his life, and then what those things also still mean for us. And really just trying to paint a picture from this scene that helps us to really grasp the reality of what sin wants to do in our lives. It's not neutral, it's death. It is actually something that's trying to crush and steal and destroy. And so I want to look at 2 dangers of sin and then what it means for us. The first danger of sin is that it is deceptive. It's really deceptive. When you look at Peter's life, one of the things that you need to remember in this story is he is doing something he does not want to do. He has said it before. He said it back in Mark 14, 30 through 31. Jesus said to him, "Hey, before the rooster crows twice, you're going to disown me 3 times. And Peter insisted emphatically, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." Like he does not want to do this thing. And yet, even when he's doing this, if you notice the story, he's actively doing it and not realizing it's even happening. He doesn't even see it taking place in his life. He is like, I will never, ever do that. And he denies once, and he doesn't even register. He doesn't even see it. He doesn't see that he's sinning in this way. He doesn't even see that it's happening. So the first time, it says when Peter was warming himself, a little girl looked at him and said, "You were also with the Nazarene," but he denied it. I don't even know or understand what you're talking about. And notice, like nothing hits. Nothing registers in his heart like, oh no, it's begun. Like it's happening, I'm doing this terrible thing. No, it flew under the radar, he didn't even see it happening. And then the second time he does it again, still not realizing that what he wanted to avoid. I do not want to deny Jesus in this way. I will not do that. I will die before I ever do that. I do not want to do that. Denies him a second time, still does not realize I am walking down the path that Jesus said I would walk. And maybe he's just tired because sin is really easy to hit us when our guard is down and things like that. But he does not realize I am walking down the path that I do not want to walk down. I'm going in that direction. And then he does it again. And notice the change in the third one when he denies him the third time. It says in verse 71, he swore to them, I don't know this man. The first time he was saying, I don't really understand what you're talking about. Second time, I'm really not quite sure what you're even talking about, little girl. But now he's like talking to other people and he's like, I do not know this man you're talking about. And immediately the rooster crows, and that's when it says that Peter remembered the word that Jesus had spoken to him. And it's like in that moment, after the third time, it's like he wakes up and he's like, oh no, like what did I do? Like how did I wind up in this spot that I never wanted to be in? How did I get here? I never wanted my life to go this way. I had like one direction I definitely wanted to avoid, and somehow I wound up in the direction I hoped to avoid. And the reason he wound up in this space is one, that he's actually dealing with sin in his own life, but two, sin is just sneaky. It is deceptive. It will sneak into your life and lead you into spaces and get you into spots where you're like, I never, ever wanted my life to go in this direction. I don't know how I got here, but somehow, without me even noticing, I started taking steps down a path I didn't even want to walk. And that's how sin works in our lives. That's how the enemy wants to use sin in our lives. C.S. Lewis says that the devil's strategy, Satan's strategy to ruin our lives is to use sin deceptively. He is the deceiver, and so he uses sin deceptively in our lives to lead us into spaces that are terrible for us. He says, do remember, the only thing that matters to Satan is not how spectacular the sin is, but the extent to which the sins separate us from God. It does not matter how small the sins are, provided that their cumulative effect edges us away from the light and out into the nothing. And so murder is no better than gambling with cards if cards can do the trick. Indeed, the safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts. The safest road to hell that Satan is trying to lead us into, the safest road to destruction, is the one that you don't even realize you're walking. Like that's what he's trying to do. And so the enemy doesn't tempt us with spectacular sins. He tempts us with ones that could go unnoticed, ones that we would probably see and be like, that's not that big of a deal. And Peter probably felt the same way. When Jesus told him, you're going to deny me, Peter probably had in his mind, he's like, to the Romans? Like maybe to the Sanhedrin? Like this little girl, that can't be what Jesus was meaning. So like to say to her, like, I don't know what you're talking about, little child, probably felt like, that's not the same thing. That's a small thing. Then he does it again. And then it builds to men, the guards standing around, and then he says it again. And every small compromise along the way that felt like, this is probably not going to do anything, this probably isn't that bad, led him into a space where he never wanted to go. The safest road to hell is the one that you don't even realize that you're on. And so for us, he won't tempt you, the enemy will not tempt you to have an affair at first. That's not how it begins. It begins with a text message that you decide to hide. He tempts you to hide that. He doesn't tempt you like, I just blow up your marriage in one fell swoop. He doesn't do that. It's like, just linger in that conversation a little bit longer. Just begin changing what you dress like and those types of things. And you're doing it, but you're really doing it for him or for her or for whatever. Like it's small things that edge you away from the light out into the nothing. He doesn't tempt you to have an addiction. Can't wait to be addicted to stuff. No, it begins with a cell phone. It begins with an app. It begins with a swipe. It begins with like, I'm tired right now. This will make me feel better. Just something small. This will make you feel better. Then you can go to sleep. This will make you feel better. And so it's just one more thing. You deserve this drink. You deserve these things. It's small stuff that ends up grabbing onto us and leading us into something that's far worse. He doesn't tempt you to hate your spouse. He tempts you to just develop a habit of talking badly about them. And like just focus on, like you're so annoyed at that thing. Just focus on that one thing. Stay focused on that. Make sure they never forget that one thing that they did. He doesn't, when you're getting married, he's not trying to get you and tempt you in a space like one day, I hope I hate them. He's not going to do that. It's going to be these like focusing on those things. Work harder on your job than you do on your marriage. Work harder on your fitness than you do on your marriage. Work harder on your children than you do on your marriage. It is small compromises along the way that lead you into a space with like, how did we get here? I'm pretty sure when we got married, we loved each other. Why do we hate each other's guts right now? How'd this happen? He doesn't tempt you to be a bitter and angry person. He just tempts you to hold grudges. And then he leads you down the road towards bitter and angry. He doesn't tempt you to neglect your children. He tempts you to use an iPad or a screen to give to them when you're tired after a day of work. I don't want to be a neglectful parent. Nah, I'm not going to tempt you with that. But you're tired, right? And that phone's right there. That iPad's right there. Just use that. Give that to them. This is how it works. It's not, I'm going to tempt you with huge, crushing credit card debt. And it's like just a small splurge. Just here and there, just small things that like, I need this, and this is the last thing I need. I just need this one more thing, and then all of a sudden you wind up in a spot and you're like, why can't I breathe? It's like, because you're underwater. It's small gossip, small fears, small lies that look like nothing. But the goal for Satan is the same. I need to get them away down a path without them ever knowing that they're walking down that path. How can I crush and ruin their lives? I can't do it in one fell swoop. They'll say no, they'll see it. Everybody that sees the cliff normally is like, oh my gosh, there's a cliff right there. Don't walk off that. But if I can distract them long enough to the edge of the cliff and then all of a sudden they just accidentally fall off that thing, then I got them right where they need to be. It's the small stuff. That's how he works in and uses that. This is why Peter later warns when he's writing to another church, he's writing to Christians, and he says, y'all, the enemy, your enemy, the devil, he prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking to devour you. And he is writing from experience. He's going, seriously, I've felt this. Somehow I wound up and I was devoured. My whole life in a moment was devoured in this thing. Like he is prowling, looking for his space, looking for a space to get in. The enemy is trying any way that he can in our lives, using sin to devour the good things in our lives, to devour our dreams, to devour those things. And it is deceptive. Sin is deceptive, used by a deceiver in order to try and edge you out into something into spaces you never wanted to be in. That's how it works. So, just as an aside, as I preach, sometimes I can feel the room a little bit, and I'm like, is this heavy? This is heavy. This is heavy. So I apologize that this is heavy. We're going to talk about like, it's dangerous. It's going to get you. Like, it's going to feel maybe like a scary horror film or something. I don't mean for it to, but like, it is, there's something here. I think it's something to see. And so not trying to like use fear to scare you. I'm like, oh, think of hell. I'm not telling you to do that. Okay. Just so you know. That wasn't in my notes, and maybe I should have just left that out. But if it feels heavy, I apologize for that. Okay. But that's the first. It is deceptive. Peter did not see this coming. Like he's doing the thing and he doesn't even realize it. He has no idea. I will definitely always avoid that. I will never enter into that space. And he walked down that path for a minute. Didn't realize he was walking down that path. That happens to us. And it will happen to us if we allow sin to deceive us into these spaces, because that's one of the dangers of it. It's just deceptive. The second thing that we see about sin is that it is incapable of giving us what we actually desire. It is incapable. It does not have the ability to give you what you actually desire in your lives. And so you see in verse 53, Peter is staying close to Jesus. He's like, I'm going to stay near to where Jesus is. I'm not going to go in. I just need to stay close, because at the right moment, there's going to present itself an opportunity where I'm going to be able to help in some way. I just need to stay close enough that I'm able to help when the time is right. And so for him, I can't cause a scene. I can't be noticed. If I'm noticed, they'll do something to me and I won't be able to help Jesus, and I'm here to help. I'm here to be the rock. I'm here to do this thing. And so the means justifies the end. They can't know I'm here. If they find me out, then I have to go. And so he lies and he denies. And it's like, but I know I'm doing something bad, but the intention is to get me into a space that's good. And the issue is sin does not work like that. It can't work like that. You can't do sin and trying to find something good and to find help and to find life. Sin does not function that way. It does not help. It does not give, it only takes. You can't use it to wind up where you actually want to be, because it has a life of its own and it will take you where you don't want to go. And that's exactly what happens to Peter. He's doing something that he thinks is necessary to wind up in a better spot. I'm sinning to wind up in a better spot. And it just doesn't work that way. Sin does not work like that. You cannot actually, from sin, you can't get what you truly desire. Steve Hope, in this book called Sipping Saltwater, which is an okay book. This illustration I'm going to give you is the best part of the book. So if you want to read it, but honestly, I'm about to read you the best part of the book. But he has this book called Sipping Saltwater where he illustrates the idea that sin can't actually give us what we really desire. He illustrates it so well, which is what led to the book deal, I'm sure. He just couldn't fill it out. Sorry, Steve. But he uses a story of Louis Zamperini, this Olympic athlete. He fought in World War II. They did a couple of movies about his life. But this is what he says about Louis. He says, Louis was flying in a fighter plane when he was shot down and crashed in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. He survived the crash, but was stranded in the middle of the ocean, and nobody knew where he was there. He drifted for 47 days on the ocean. He had sharks trying to get him from below, Japanese enemy fighters trying to shoot him from the air. But the worst challenge was neither of those things. His worst challenge was his thirst. He was surrounded by water, and he couldn't take a sip. It looked refreshing. It looked like the very thing that would satisfy him. But if he would have drank from the salt water, it would have dried out his insides and left him thirstier than before. He would have experienced explosive diarrhea, pounding headache, muscle cramps, dizziness, vomiting, increased blood pressure, rapid heart rate, kidney failure, hallucinations, and seizures. Surrounded by water, but if he hydrates himself with this water, it wouldn't save his life, it would take it. Sin works like that. It looks refreshing. It looks like just what you need. But the more you press in, the more it hurts you. The more you drink from it, the thirstier you get. I think it's the most incredible illustration for the way that sin actually works. Salt water looks like it even has the same texture. It looks exactly like what will satisfy your thirst, but it can't satisfy your thirst. It can only take from you. It can't help you. It can only kill you. It won't actually do the thing. It looks like the thing that you need. It looks like what will satisfy, but it cannot do that. Salt water promises fulfillment, but in the end, it actually pays you in death. Sin works the exact same way. It promises you fulfillment. If you do this, this will help you. If you do this, life will be better. If you press into this sin, it will give you what you want. It promises fulfillment, but it pays you in death. It looks like the thing that you need in order to survive and to thrive. I just need this. I think this will get me there. But it's salt water. It promises fulfillment, but it pays us in death. This next scroll is it. This next swipe, this next relationship, this next purchase, this next drink, this next whatever. Just one more, I'm pretty sure it's going to get me there. It promises fulfillment, but it pays us in death. I dated this girl in high school whose mom always shamed her about the way that she looked, her weight, shamed her about what she ate and her weight. She was an actress trying to make it in Atlanta, acting stuff. And so she was in pageants and auditioning for roles and all the different things. And so the mom talked about how heavy she was all the time, talked about what she ate all the time, wherever, at dinners, lunches, wherever, always talking about that. And just to be clear, this girl was 103 pounds. She was teeny tiny, 103 pounds. And her mom would tell her that when she auditioned and didn't get the part, or she was in a pageant and didn't win or whatever, took second or whatever, it's like, it's because of the bathing suit, it's because of your weight, it's because of what you look like. You need to be thinner, you gotta be skinnier. And her line was, because it was awful to be around, but her line was like, I'm just trying to help. I'm the honest voice. Everyone else is gonna lie to you. I'm gonna give you the brutal truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And she was trying to help her get thin, and it worked. She got super thin. She developed an eating disorder and went from 103 to 61 pounds. She had 0% body fat and had to be hospitalized, and she almost died. It worked. Everything you longed for, you got. She's so skinny. She had to spend 2 years in a rehabilitation center in Arizona to heal her mind of the trauma that her mom had done in her mind and in her heart. Because she began to feel herself unworthy of food, that food is something to always be it's the problem, it's this thing that's out to get you. It was wild what she had to deal with. The place she went had a 90% success rate of healing people within the first year. It's so good. If you know anything about rehabilitation centers in Arizona, it's the one you send people to that are really broken. And she had to stay there for 2 years. I think 6 months you're supposed to stay. She had to do 4 times the amount. And it's like the mom got exactly what she wanted. She used shame and was critical and was guilting her to make her thin, and you got her to be thin. But you can't get life from sin. You get death from sin. It will give you something that looks similar, but it will be far, far worse. Sin works like that. That's how it works. It's salt water. It looks like life, and it'll actually pay you in death. And that's what Paul says about it. The wages, the only thing it can give you is something that's destructive. It looks exactly like my anger. I think if I'm just so angry towards this person, I'll get exactly what I want. You probably will get what you want, but in the end, it's going to take far more than you actually get. And we need to know this about sin. We need to lock it in our conscience and our minds, like it cannot give you the results that you actually want. It cannot pay you in life. It will only steal and pay you in death. Because people try this so often. Like people lie a little bit, like I'm just lying to keep the peace. And it's like, it's gonna give you something, it's just not gonna give you real peace. Like it's just never gonna be able to do that. People use some substances or porn or something to numb themselves out, to make themselves feel better. And it's like, it might reduce stress and release chemicals in your brain to all of a sudden make you feel a little bit better, but it will pay you an addiction and just chaining you down to something you no longer can escape. People overspend and buy things to feel better, to feel successful, to feel like I matter, I need this thing. And it's like all that's gonna do eventually down the road is give you financial stress and debt and stuff and take more than it gives. People hold grudges instead of forgiving. I mean, make sure that person gets what they deserve. Make sure they never hurt me again. It's like all you're doing in holding that grudge, it's gonna take from you. It's gonna make you bitter. It's gonna make you angry. It's gonna make you isolate. It's gonna make people in your life not wanna be around you anymore. Because all you can think about is this person and how much they deserve what they're gonna get. That's all you can talk about. Because you won't let it go. You won't forgive. People seek their worth and their value in the wrong places. They go to social media to I'm gonna feel more valuable by going to social media. I just need to post on social media. And then the comments and the likes and the things that I get from other people. And then they post and it doesn't get what they want, so they get a little more scandalous and they post a little bit more. It's like, I need people to tell me I'm beautiful. I need people to tell me I matter. I need people to do those things. And it's like, you went here to feel better, and somehow you wound up feeling like they didn't like me enough. You became so needy and so anxious, and now I can't escape this thing. Like I need the approval of people I don't even know. That's how it works. It looks like the thing that it's gonna make you feel better, but it actually doesn't. People worry constantly and they're so anxious. If I just worry enough, then I'll be able to rest. I can worry enough about the future that eventually they'll give me rest. And it's like, it doesn't pay you in actual rest. It will pay you in more worry. It'll make you more anxious. People who are people pleasers, like I'm gonna become whatever anybody needs in order to feel safer. I'm gonna try and make them feel so good with me that they'll never reject me. They'll never let me go. It's like all that's really gonna do is gonna make you a doormat. They're gonna walk all over you, or it's just gonna exhaust you. You're gonna lose yourself in trying to be something for everybody else and never actually realizing who you actually are, because the only person that you are is whoever they need you to be. It works like the list could go on. We could just keep going. These small things that look like, I think this sin is gonna help. And it's like, maybe in the immediate thing, it might give immediate relief, but long term, it cannot pay you in life. It's salt water. It looks like life, but it can only actually pay you in death. It cannot help. You can't get life from sin because it doesn't live there. Peter tries. That's what he's trying to do. I'm trying to get life. I'm trying to help by sinning. And it says in verse 72, where he winds up. He tries sin. Let's see where he winds up. It says he broke down and wept. How'd that sin work out? Did it lead you to where you wanted it to go? Did it help? Or did it break your life down, tear your dreams apart, tear your relationship apart, and actually leave you filled with despair? I was like, oh yeah, I did that last one. It tore my life apart. It broke me down, and it left me with despair. Everything that I loved and everything I wanted to be and everything I wanted to do, it stole all of that stuff from me. What did sin do? That's what it did. And that's what it does. That's where sin leads. And so those are the two dangers. If it's heavy, just shake it off. You're okay. But those are the two dangers. Sin is deceptive. It will lead you unknowingly, without even knowing it, soft underfoot. It won't even feel like it's hurting. It will lead you unknowingly into spaces you're like, I never wanted a marriage like that. I can't believe I have one. I never wanted to end up in an affair. How did I get here? I never wanted to have this type of debt. I never wanted to be struggling with this type of addiction. I never wanted to have this going on in my life. Why am I chained to this? How did I get here? Small sins over time, just soft underfoot, leading you down a path that you don't even realize you're walking. That's how it works. And then sin looks like salt water, promises fulfillment, but can only actually pay you in death. Looks like it will fulfill you, but it won't, and it can't. So, a couple of things that we can do and that we should do in light of these dangers, in light of the reality of sin. Just a couple of things that we can do to resist it and to fight against it and to step forward in the midst of it, not to be crushed by the weight of the dangers, but to actually find some peace and life from it. The first is, I really do think we need to recognize and believe that the dangers of sin are actually real. To not slough these things off and be like, nah, not for me. For someone else, but not for me. I got a good handle on my sin. I'm all set. This stuff isn't actually going to be that bad. It's not actually going to get in there and tear some stuff up. This is a controlled burn. I know how to just keep the fire here. And it's like, it will not stay there. It is not neutral. It will spread, and its desire is to devour every single thing. It is not a controlled burn. And so we need to believe in the dangers of sin. I think many times when I talk to people and they're talking about different things, or even the way I feel about my own sin sometimes, it's like, how bad is this? Isn't this just another way to get exactly what I want? Like, there's God's way, there's my way that kind of includes a handful of different sins. Won't this still get me where I'm supposed to go? And the answer is no. It's not going to get you there. It cannot get you there. The road is going the exact opposite direction of where you actually want to wind up. It cannot do it. And yet people feel that way. They feel like, God doesn't want me to go this way, or he's mad at me if I go this way, or he's going to condemn me if I do the sinful thing. And it's none of those things. His motivation for keeping you from sin is not you better, or if you do, then I'll crush you. His motivation is, please don't. It's dangerous and you don't realize it's dangerous. Because if you take this road, you're going to wind up in a space that you're going to why am I here in this broken down spot? He's like, I told you, please trust me enough. And so we actually do need to believe the dangers are real, that these things actually will shape us in negative ways. He's being kind to us, or at least he's trying to, by telling us to avoid sin. He's not trying to condemn us. He's not trying to guilt us. He's just trying to protect us. When he says, please don't do these things. Please believe me that it leads to death. And so we need to believe the dangers are real. The second is we need to heed Peter's warning when it comes to sin. When it comes to sin, Peter messes up in a substantial way here in this text. And then he writes an epistle, he writes a letter to other Christians, I've already read some of it, where he's talking to them about sin. And this is what he says. He says, be sober-minded and watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him. Stand firm in your faith. Now, what's interesting about what Peter is saying is it's very close to what Jesus said to Peter in the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus said to Peter, hey, you need to watch. You need to be watchful, and you need to pray. Your flesh is willing. You actually do want to stay with me, but your spirit is weak. You need to watch and pray. And what Peter is doing in this text is going, Jesus was right, I was wrong. I thought I could just do it in my own strength. I thought I could avoid it. I thought sin wasn't that powerful. I thought that I could deny you. You're crazy. I'm not going to deny you. And then he winds up exactly where he never wanted to be. And so he's saying, you need to be mindful. You need to be watchful. You need to watch and pray. What Jesus told me to do, I didn't do. So I'm telling you, do the thing that he said. He's right, I was wrong. And so a couple of ways that we can watch and pray, be sober-minded, is one, we do genuinely need to pray. You need to spend time in prayer. One of the prayers that you can pray is from Psalm 139. It says, search me, God. Search me, know my heart. Test me, know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me and lead me in the way everlasting. I don't want to be led in the way of destruction. Lead me in the way of eternity. Lead me in the way everlasting. That's where I actually want to go. And so spending time just asking the Spirit, would you just reveal things to me that I don't even see myself? Peter's like, I don't even see my sin. He needed somebody to say, hey, you're denying him. Do you not hear it? You're denying him. You don't even see it. He needed somebody from the outside, somewhere from the inside to say hey, something's happening. And so we need to pray and ask, Lord, search me and know my heart. Show me offensive ways. And then I want to reject the offensive way and be led in the way everlasting. So we need to pray. Second, we need to respond humbly with confession and repentance when the Spirit of God convicts you of sin. Respond humbly and with confession and repentance. What a gift that we get to humbly just say about our sin, hey, I don't want this, I did this, I don't want this, I don't want to continue in this way. Thank you for the forgiveness that you offer. Like, we need to respond humbly with repentance and confession. Jesus calls the Spirit of God in us, he calls him a counselor, he calls him the advocate, and the one who will convict you of sin. And so his words are, the greatest friend you have is me living in you. I will be honest with you about your sin. I will tell you the things that are bad. I will convict you. And conviction is a kindness, not a guilt. Conviction is a good thing, not a bad thing. When we do something bad or whatever, and something hurts us, we experience pain. There's a pain response in our bodies, hopefully. And the pain is not a punishment. The pain is a gift. When you experience pain, it's your body saying, hey, whatever you're doing, this is bad for us. This is wrong. Let's not do this anymore. This pain is bad. And so the Holy Spirit is doing the exact same thing with convicting us of sin. It's like, hey, you might not notice this, but this conviction you feel is a pain response. Whatever you're doing is bad for your heart, it's bad for your soul, it's bad for your eyes, it's bad for your marriage, it's bad for your relationships. Whatever you're pressing into is bad for you. The conviction is a kindness. He is trying to let you know whatever you're doing is going to lead you into a destructive path, not into a good one. And so we shouldn't defend ourselves against conviction. We should receive it as somebody being kind enough to tell us the truth. It's like, hey, this is actually dangerous for you. Dietrich Bonhoeffer has this quote in his book, Life Together. He says that nothing can be more cruel than the leniency which abandons others to their sin. Just being like, don't worry about it. You're cool. That's fine. Nothing can be more cruel than that. And then nothing can be more compassionate than the severe reprimand which calls another back from the path of sin. And he's saying this because he just gets it. And he understands. He's like, if I just allow you to continue to drink poison, it doesn't make me a good friend. It makes me a terrible friend. Or someone that can't read labels. Do you enjoy the Clorox, son? Oh, I hope so. That's really good. This isn't orange juice. Like, if I allow him to continue to do that, that would be, not continue to do that. He's never done that. But you get my point. If I allowed him to do that, you're a terrible father. The leniency that's like, it's fine. It's just a little. It'll do so much more damage. And that's what the Holy Spirit is trying to do. It is a severe, convicting thing, not because he hates us, but because he's like, I actually love you enough to be honest with you and say that what you're doing is hurting you. And then we don't need to isolate. You want to be sober-minded and watchful and pray? You don't need to isolate. Peter is alone in this space. He's completely alone. Imagine if John had been there with him, another disciple. If he just had one other bro next to him, or Mary Magdalene. I mean, women can do it too. But just somebody to go hey, I don't know if you heard what you just said, but you just did the thing that you swore you wouldn't do that Jesus knew that you would do. If you just had somebody from the outside with him that loved him enough to be honest with him, hey, you're doing it. You don't even realize it. You're stepping into the thing that you want to avoid. He just needed somebody else to say those words to him, somebody to call him back from the direction he was going in. And so we don't need to isolate. We need to be in community. We need to allow people to be honest in our lives. If the only people in your life are the people that agree with every single thing that you do, you have enemies next to you, not your friends. Don't isolate. And then don't give sin an inch of ground in your life. How do we stay watchful, mindful? Don't give sin an inch of ground in your life. Paul says it like this. He says, don't give the devil a place or a foothold is how it's translated in some of our Bibles. But the word in Greek is topos. It's where we get our word topological or topography or whatever. And so it's really just land, ground, a place. Don't give the devil a place in your life. So it's the idea of don't give him a single inch of ground in your life. Give sin not even just a single spot of ground. It's the same idea of when God had Israel moving into Canaan, and he's like, drive them out. Do not give them an inch of ground. Don't let them stay at all. Don't make peace with them. Don't make treaties with them. Drive them out. Give them no place around you because they will be a hindrance to you. They'll steal from you. They'll take from you. Drive them completely out. And so it's the same idea. Paul saying, drive it completely out. If you notice that sin has a space in your life, even just a teeny, tiny plot of ground in your life, do not be okay with that. Give him no ground in your life because it will be something that actually hurts you, not helps you. It will be something that doesn't just stay one plot of ground. It will turn into spreading into more and more and more. And so my encouragement to you is to find a friend, find somebody in your life, somebody that you can trust. And I would just encourage you to take them to lunch this week, this month, and just ask them, like, hey, do you see anything in my life that like maybe I'm just missing? Has sin, does it have an inch of ground? Have I given it any place in my life? Do you see anything in me? Something that like this could spread, this could be bad. Maybe I'm allowing it to stay. Maybe I don't even see it at all. Do you see it? And then you need to respond humbly to that person. Make sure you take the right person. But you should take somebody and go, I think you're the only person that really tell me the truth and know that even if you say something bad, I might want to hit you, but I won't. Like, I need that type of person, somebody to say those things. And so I would encourage you, find somebody. Have I given any place to the devil, any place to sin? Is there any spot? And then respond humbly and listen to them with what they say. And then the very last thing, based on all of that, one of the things we need to see is how Jesus can actually change your life. And you see it in how he changes Peter's life. What Jesus can do in your life is radically change you from who you were into someone brand new. He can take a sinner and turn them into a saint. He can take someone who's addicted and turn them into somebody that's no longer addicted. Peter was deceived and he wound up in a place he never wanted to go. He's living a life he desperately wanted to avoid. I do not want to live this life. And he's living that life. And what Jesus does in his life is he eventually forgives him and he restores Peter. And if you read on, after Jesus is resurrected and ascends into the heavens, Peter is leading the church and doing this stuff. And in the book of Acts, in Acts 4, Peter finds himself again in a very similar situation to the one that he's in this text. He's in front of the Sanhedrin. He's in front of Caiaphas. He's in front of these people that are questioning him. And he has this exact same opportunity to go, are you going to deny him or are you going to stand with Jesus? You could deny Jesus and be set free, or you could stand with Jesus and it's probably not going to go well for you. And notice what happens. It says, Annas the high priest was there, and so were Caiaphas and the high priest family. It's literally some of the same people that were there during this particular time in Peter's life before. They had Peter and John. He's not alone. He's got John with him. He's got Peter and John brought before them. They began to question him. By what power or what name did you do this? And Peter could just be like, I don't really know. Like, honestly, I'm just pretty good at healing people's legs. Like, I don't know, because that's what he just did. Like, he doesn't do that at all. He says, then Peter, filled with the Spirit of Jesus himself, said to them, rulers and elders of the people, if we're being called to account today for an act of kindness shown to a man who was lame and are being asked how he was healed, then I need you to know, you and all the people of Israel, it is by the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, whom you crucified, but whom God raised from the dead, that this man stands before you healed. Jesus is the stone the builders rejected, which has become the cornerstone. And salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by which we must be saved. And it says this, when they saw the courage of Peter and John, the courage, in the previous passage, he has no courage. But when they see the courage of Peter and John and realized they were unschooled, ordinary men, they were astonished and they took note that these men had been with Jesus. Peter, in the passage in Mark, he denies Jesus even knowing him. Now he's known by Jesus' name by other people because he has this incredible courage. Jesus has changed this man's life from a lying, scared, sinful person into someone that's courageous, like, I will double down in Jesus' name. He is the man that he actually wanted to be. He wanted to be this guy in Mark 14. It's like, I just want to be this guy. And it's like, you just couldn't. But Jesus took his life, transformed his life, and actually made him into the person he actually wanted to be. And so what does Jesus want to do? He actually wants to lead us and shape us and form us into the people that we actually want to be. We don't get there by sinning. We don't get there by trying sin. You get there by actually giving more and more and more of your life to Jesus. He is the person who can actually transform your life into the way that you actually want it to go. He's the one that can do it, and he does it in Peter's life. And then Peter says, there's no other name. There's no other person. Everything that all the salvation you long for, the only person you can find that in is found in Jesus. Give your lives to him. And so that would be my encouragement today. That's what he wants to do. Sin won't get you there, but Jesus can actually lead us to where we actually want to go. And so my encouragement is to give your life to him again today. Like, just, if there are spaces in your life where you're holding on to sin and it's like really small sins, like, this one's not so bad, give that to him as well. Give him that plot of ground in your life that you've given to the devil and to sin. Give it to him. If there are spaces where you're like, I've just given this particular spot of my finances or my mind or my heart or how I act, my mouth and how I talk, if you've given those things to the devil and to sin, if you've given that plot of ground to them, I just give those things back to Jesus. Confess those things to him. Repent of those things. He'll actually take you and form you and transform you into somebody that you actually desperately want to be. The reason you're holding on to that sin is because you think it's giving you something, but it's not. It's salt water. It's taking from you. And so we're called to give our lives to Jesus so that he can actually do what he did in Peter's life and just transform us completely into somebody brand new. And so my encouragement to you, if you find that, some sin, something that you're holding on to, you don't have to tell me, but just give it to him. Confess those things to him today. Let me pray.